And we are back, and we have the Silver Fox with us, Mr. Steve Madlaga, who you all know is the COO of our company. And Steve, the job you've been doing is absolutely amazing. But we want to talk about something a little bit differently. Stephanie and I talked about some of the miscellaneous operational things going on the island, but let's talk a little bit big picture. And I'd like to talk a little bit more about our meeting on the 24th, because this is a very exciting meeting coming up, because this is something we've been waiting for years. And, we went through the strategic plan, we went through the people offering us suggestions, what to do. We did all the surveys, we sent it out to the island.
Yep.
And based on that, tell us now what we're going to see on Tuesday night.
Well, it's great to see you, and thank you for having me, and I appreciate the compliment. My team, our team, the board, all the directors, they've all done an amazing job, and I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, a safe Thanksgiving with your families coming up. And yes, I think that we've had a almost surreal, dreamlike journey. I can't believe that we're here on the doorstep of this great presentation, because we went through a long period of time to do the survey and to do the committee and everything else. And, what are the members saying? What do they want? And this and that and the other. And we vetted out the priorities. And we've been ticking those priorities one after the other. But the big jar of marbles in that priority list was the Island Club and the pool. And I think that on next Tuesday, everybody is going to be incredibly excited and captivated. And you and I have had plenty of time to talk to the architects and, Mr. Kettles and Mr. Fell and the construction committee and all the people that have been involved. And we've seen a little preview. And I just can't believe that the vision that we had has been captured and made even more exciting and better by Malcolm and his team. And so, I hope everybody can participate in that Zoom call. We will, of course, be replaying that and sharing it with the community. But I think there's going to be, like I have and you have, an amazing sense of enthusiasm and excitement for the future here.
So the main thrust of the presentation is going to be the pool area, the new snack bar, and what we're doing with the wine room, et cetera, in this building. Is that correct?
Yeah, when our marching orders,
yes,
from the community was to update the pool, give us a little bit more space, give us a little bit more atmosphere. I don't want to call it resort club-like, but modernize it and everything else. Improve the snack bar so that the food service could be more timely and a little bit broader. As far as items, not just a hot dog, hamburger kind of thing. But the mandate was to start there, and on the pool side, the overlook of the pool, and in the old piano bar in the wine room, really bring that up to an inside-outside kind of experience with a great environment looking over the pool and everything. And I think that this presentation that you'll see has hit that nail right on the head beautifully.
Great. And I understand you touched on it, but the snack bar is no longer going to be just a snack bar. It's going to have a more enhanced menu, isn't it?
Yes. And the design that we put together will allow Robert and his team to really, when we have parties or socials out on the pool other than the day-to-day business, really do some things right on the pool deck from an hors d'oeuvre and an entree perspective to really upgrade the level of food production and food quality and diversity of items to make it a lot more fun.
So is it the intention that with all of these upgrades, renovation, and actual beautification, we can enhance the ability to have more functions here and more club activities?
Yes. There's some specific areas in there where it used to be the wine room. There's an extended deck off of that, where the ramp up that exists today, we're moving that out because that was a handicap ramp challenge. But in that area, there's going to be something preliminary called the Banyan deck out there, which I see as a party deck, a private party deck. And then on the pool deck itself, there's some trellised areas that we think that we can kind of separate for smaller parties, birthdays, baby showers, things of that nature. So we are going to have the ultimate flexibility and more capacity than we've ever had to do not only private functions, but to do the a la carte component day in and day out better than we've ever been able to before.
And I understand, and we'll be giving a very extensive report Tuesday night. but this all fits in with our original budgets that we anticipated.
I think that's the most exciting part of this, is that we believe and we verified, and you'll hear from the people that we've been working with that all of this is possible within the realm of our financial means, the budget.
Now, the other thing that I've been asked is how is the front gate coming? Because I know we wanted to have that ready for the season. Is that on schedule to be there for the season?
Well, I mean, let's define season. But
January.
The reality here is that our vendor that is creating the hurricane-proof guardhouse, which has some very stringent specifications,
Yes.
and we had to go through quite a permitting process for that, they've told us because of production and demand that we will not actually get that guardhouse until the last week of December or the first week of January. So when we say it'll be finished and completed in season, yes. Our vendor for the gates and all of the other support items and everything else, those are moving along quite nicely. But the one big item that we're waiting on is the actual guardhouse itself. But
That's
it's
great.
moving along nicely.
Great. One of the questions that we've had some people calling us about is tennis and what's going on with either the ladies' league or the men's. And obviously we haven't had legal tennis because we couldn't, because there's no outside play to go to. But my understanding is Carlos is now running some kind of clinics for the women on the Med Village courts, and he will be doing tryouts and people to come on if they want to expand the clubs. Could you give us a little bit on that?
Yeah, happily. I mean, we are really fortunate that our whole tennis program has had incredible interest, not only before this year, but this year with everybody being here all summer, and especially the ladies. And, we hope to have a men's team that represents Williams Island, but we have a ladies team that has represented Williams Island in the past. And so what we're working on right now with Carlos and his team and the team captains is a renewed format, because we want to make sure that we're inclusive, we're transparent about how it happens, and in most situations like this where you're competing against other clubs in the league, you compete to get into the league. So there are going to be open tryouts in the future for these, and we're going to share that structure with the whole tennis community here in the very near future. And we're excited to get that going. And yes, on Thursdays at 10 o'clock, we have reserved all of the 4 tennis courts at Med Village, and Carlos or Vinny will be there to set the clinic or the program or what the team is supposed to work on, and then the captains will take over those practice sessions. And that's a commitment so that we can help them hone their skills and hopefully win and compete in a good way and represent us.
All right, so in other words, not to interrupt, but if somebody wants to become part of the tennis team, the women's league, they now will have an ability to try out and see where they fit into the ABC, whatever that division would be.
Yes.
But we're not going to, it won't be closed off any longer. We are reopening it to allow more people on.
Yes, it's going to be open to everybody that wants to participate.
Great.
And if we need to create more than one team because of the amount of interest, we will create a second team. But each of the teams will be seeded, based upon competition here amongst the teams first to put the best possible teams together.
Great. A very important question, because obviously we have gone through nightmares of nightmares between March and today. And the staff that we have has gone above and beyond anything we could ever imagine.
Yeah,
I mean, to say that we are doing better than ever anticipated under the worst circumstances and never have missed a beat, have never lost the momentum, but now you're faced with the possibility of this happening all over again.
Yeah.
How do you prepare your team? How do you keep the momentum going? How do you keep the attitudes of the staff positive when they're facing possibly another catastrophe?
Well, I think that's a really great question, and I think you and the board have done some amazing things in support of us through this process. We reached out and supported the employees that were furloughed and supported them, and I think that filled their souls and their heart with commitment to the community. The members, through not only tennis, but through delivery and everything, have supported us and kept us busy and allowed us to bring us people back when it was time to bring us back. And this past October, we actually, even though we don't have full capacity in the restaurant, we actually exceeded the food and beverage volume in revenue than we did last year when we were completely open. And the team and I are so grateful and humbled by the support of the community and the support of the board. In fact, we just gave everybody gift cards this week, for Thanksgiving, which is something that the board approved and you were part of, that everybody's grateful, and so I think that getting ready for another round, what I'm getting is that people trust us. They believe that we will do the right thing as we've done in the past, and they know that this is our reality. We're all looking for a bridge, through the vaccine to get past this. But I would just say to everybody out there, I would say to the team, every single one of you, no matter what role you play on Williams Island, thank you and God bless you. We are just so blessed for your commitment to us. But I would just say to everybody out there, we're really lucky to have created our own little Williams Island bubble and own little economy here. And the staff and I and everybody else are amazingly grateful for that.
Well, and we as an island and the board thanks you and what you've done.
Wow.
We have an exceptional group of people here, and with people like Stephanie and yourself
Absolutely.
and membership and Thomas and such, we're very fortunate. And hopefully we won't be shutting down. Hopefully we'll be able to weather the storm again. I think the fact that we are meeting and exceeding budgets that we never dreamt we would, in spite of the capacities that we've had to reduce, is short of amazing.
So I want to jump in on you for a second, because I listened to your earlier segment and Stephanie was talking to you about the cones and everything else, and we realized that we have this holiday coming up and we have family coming into town, and so I would just say to the residents, we're doing the walkway and the roadway, and what we need is collaboration and cooperation. So please wear your masks. When you come to the POA facilities, whether it's the spa or anything else, please do your temperature checks. Please cooperate with the employees. And you know what? The number one hardest thing that Udi and Robert have as a challenge is when people are coming back, they're coming back from up north, they're coming from this and that, they see you sitting at that table and they want to go say hi.
Yes.
And now we are the policemen that have to say, wait a minute, don't do that now. And it's so hard because we see the love everybody has for everybody. But please, especially this coming week, with families at the pool and everything else, don't forget your masks. Don't forget your sanitizer. Please social distance, and please don't bite anybody's head off if they remind you, about that, because we truly are all still in this together. And our area fortunately has fared better than most, and this is the way that each of us individually can make sure it stays that way.
And I just want to close on a very important note that we've got tremendous amounts of calls about. Due to the COVID and due to the inability of certain people in the world around us, they cannot get here to use their minimum. And we've had quite a few people call about this. And what we as the board have decided to do is anybody that cannot get here to use their minimum, spend the balance of their minimum or whatever is left, if they call Thomas or Joy in our office, they will work out something with you. So this year, you will be given time to either spend what you can this year, or we will roll it over to next year for you, so you won't lose your minimum this year and you won't be burdened with a bill at the end of the year for something you weren't able to spend. So I think it's very important, if there's a legitimate reason, and we always have people that just don't use it, but they're here. This is for those people who have a legitimate reason where they couldn't get to the country. They're calling us from South America, they're calling from Mexico, they're calling from Europe, and they physically can't get here. So if you have those circumstances, if there's anything like that that exists in your lifestyle right now, please call the office. We will work with you to help you out through these times. So don't feel you've lost the minimum if there's a reason you couldn't get here. So, Steve, I want to thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for what you do. And again, watch the 24th. You will be amazed at what you're going to see. Stay safe, stay well, and don't go away, because we're going to have Jackie Sofa with us in just a couple of moments.
Stay well,
Thank you.
everybody.